Hello everyone, this is Darvesh Khan, Subject Specialist English. In lecture number 14, we are here with a new topic, that is phrase. What do we mean by phrase? How phrase is defined? Phrase is defined in this way, that phrase is a word or more than a word that does not form a formal structure of subject plus verb. When we say that phrase is a word or more than a word that does not form a formal structure of subject plus verb, we know very well that is called phrase. Now, how is it called a word? How is it called more than a word? When we say it is a word and when we say it's more than a word, we know very well that phrase is defined in this way, that it does not form subject plus verb structure. If it forms subject plus verb structure, then we may call it a clause, then we may call it a sentence. But it is something that is incomplete, that is not complete. It is not a complete structure, but rather we say that does not form subject plus verb structure. Therefore, we say phrase is a word or more than a word. For example, I say a good boy in the class. When I say a good boy in the class, it means that boy is a main word in it, which is called head. It's noun, while good is an adjective and a is an article. And in the class is called in is preposition and the is article, while class is a noun. It means that a good in the class, these all words, they are dependent on one word, that is a noun. It means it does not have any subject, it does not have any verb structure. So subject plus verb structure is not here in phrase. Therefore we say a good boy in the class is a noun phrase. Now let me tell you, phrase is defined as a word or more than a word that does not form a formal structure, as subject plus verb, etc. Now let me tell you that the phrase is divided into many kinds, but there are two parts of phrase that they are very important. What is that? Phrase has two parts. One is called header. The second part is called dependent. One is called header. The second one is called dependent. What is head? Head is that part of phrase which is the compulsory part. And dependent is that part which is optional. If the dependent is used, well and good. If not, it's okay. It means that optional part is that part which is either needed or not. Compulsory part is needed for a phrase. For example, if I say there is a noun phrase, so in noun phrase, the compulsory part of the phrase is noun. We know that adjective defines noun. Adjective defines noun, but this adjective plays the role of dependent. Noun does not define an adjective, but an adjective defines noun. It means that adjective is dependent on a main compulsory part which is called head. And what is that head? That is noun. For example, I say good teacher Teacher is a noun, good is an adjective. Noun does not define adjective, but adjective defines noun. It means teacher is the compulsory part of the phrase, and good is an adjective which is not the compulsory part, rather it is called dependent. So phrase is a word or more than a word that does not form any formal structure like subject plus verb, etc. So there are two parts in a phrase. One is called compulsory part, while the second one is called optional part. Compulsory part is that part which is needed, which is compulsory, which is the head of the phrase. If a phrase is noun phrase, the compulsory part must be noun. The head of the phrase must be noun. While the remaining parts we will discuss in our coming lectures, they are only and only about the explanation. They are dependent on the main word which is called head in a phrase. Now let me say how many types of phrases are there and what words are there that they are called heads. One is a noun phrase. The second is a verb phrase. Third is an adjective phrase. Fourth is an adverb phrase. Fifth is prepositional phrase. Sixth is possessive phrase. There are 6 types, but while sometimes we also say that noun phrase, so we also place another phrase in noun phrase, that is gerund phrase. Then in adjective phrase, we place another category called participial phrase. So these 2 types, hope so, we will discuss in our coming lectures. In noun phrase, what is the head part? That is a noun. Noun must be compulsory in it. Verb phrase, verb. Adjective phrase, an adjective. Adverb phrase, an adverb. Prepositional phrase, a preposition. And the last is possessive phrase. It means a possessive. Dear fellows, we discussed about the definition of phrase. We talked about the examples of phrase. Then we discussed 2 parts of phrase. And now these are the types of phrases. So inshallah, in the coming lecture, we will talk about each and every phrase in detail. Thank you so much. Please like this video, subscribe my channel, and do comment whatever you can. Thank you.